Okay, I'm going to talk about Indonesia. Okay, people. The Indonesians are known because of their friendliness and fidelity. That's one of the things that many tourists have admired of this place. The population is of 267 million. An important fact is that the most of men and women use the kebaya. And the kebaya is a type of dress. In the religion, we have that the 87% are Muslim, the 0% are Protestant, the 3% are Catholic, and the 1.5% are Hindus. Okay, in language, the most used language in Indonesia is the Javanese, Indonesian, and Bahasa. One of their main dialects is the Malaya. An important fact is that they have like 700 different type of languages and dialects. Okay, economic system. Um, they have made economic system which includes a variety of private freedom combined with centralized economic planning and government regulation. Their coin is the rupiah, and also Indonesia is member of the Asia Pacific Economic Corporation and Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Um, Indonesia is also known because they are the main exporters of real, tin, and rubber in the world. Um, Government. They have an infinite type of politics in Indonesia, and it takes place in the framework of a presidential representative democratic, whereby the president of Indonesia. And the actual president of Indonesia is Joko Widodo. And also, an important fact is that the capital of Indonesia is Jakarta. In literature, we have that Indonesia did not become an official country since the independence in the World War II. As a conclusion, we have that Indonesia is not because of their beautiful beaches, volcanoes, jungles. Some of the animals we can find in Indonesia are the elephants, orangutans, and tigers. They have 400 volcanoes, and most known are the Isa Bromo and Ijen. Also, Indonesia had the second largest forest in the world. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Angeleva, and my country is Taiwan. Uh, The geography, the island of Taiwan has a total area of 35,980 kilometers squares and is located 200 kilometers southwest of mainland China, separated by the Taiwan Strait. It's about 3,683 600 kilometers long from north to south and 145 kilometers from east to west at its widest point. The economy it's a developed capitalist economy that ran as the tenth largest in Asia. The 22 largest in the world by purchasing power parity. It is included in the group of advanced economies by the International Monetary Fund and measured in the group of high income economies by the World Bank. Taiwan is the most technological advanced manufacturer of computer chips in the world. People, Taiwan with a population of 23 millions 561,000 people is in position 57 of the population table made up of 196 countries and has a high population density with 655 inhabitants per square kilometers. Its capital is Taipei and its currency is Taiwanese new dollars. The literature. Taiwan has a very active literary scene with a large number of writers of novels and short stories enjoying wide readership, many for many consecutive decades. A short selection of outstanding poets and writers. Religion. Some religions in Taiwan are Christianity, syncretism, and the language is Mandarin Chinese. Thanks for your attention.
Hello, my name is Gustavo, and I'm gonna talk about Vietnam. Vietnam religion, a course in one or more practice related to Tam Siao, Buddhism, and traditional Vietnamese religion, such as an ancestor worship or praying to deities, especially during the Tet and other festivals. In her people, over 90% of Vietnamese people are Viet, or Khmer people, descendants of the indigenous race, but with a many violent and low ponder and migratory incursion over the centuries, as well as the southward expansion of Vietnamese territory into Cambodia. In geography, Vietnam faces the Eastern Sea to the east and the Gulf of Thailand to the south and southwest. The country has a long coastal of 3,260 kilometers, running from Mont Cay in the north to Ha Tien in the southwest. In language, the native language is Vietnamese, the most widely spoken Austroasiatic language. In literature, poetry, and literary arts are the most famous populate in Vietnam. Government, the politics of Vietnam are defined by Socialist Republic. In her economy, Vietnam is a densely populated country with a developing economy that has been in transition to an open economy since 1989.
Hello, my name is Anthony and I will talk about Cambodia. Cambodia has 15.9 million people and his religion, the 80% is Buddhist and the language, the official language is Khmer language. Khmer is like we say Cambodian people, like here in Honduras that they call us catrachos, and that's like another name. In literature, King Anduan was known for being one of the writer in prose most known of Cambodia. In government, this government is a constitutional monarchy. In the economic system, the currency is the Cambodia real. Thank you for your attention.
Thailand. Thailand is located in Southeast Asia. The country covers an area of 513,000 square kilometers, and when looking at it on a map, you can kind of see an X shape. To the north, it borders Myanmar and Laos. To the east, Laos and Cambodia. And to the south is next to the Gulf of Thailand and Malaysia. About 90% of Thailand people are Buddhists, but about 3 million Muslims live near the south border with Malaysia. The city of Bangkok is home to many imposing Buddhist structures featuring gold layered spires, graceful pagodas, and massive Buddhist statues. They are often referred to as the Land of Smiles. Thailand is renowned for their vitality, ardent, and warm disposition of its culture and people. Food in Thailand is influenced by Chinese and Indian cultures. Most Thai dishes are spicy, and many common dishes include somtam, lab, and bami cue. Thailand's only official language, Thai, also historically known as Siamese, is spoken by approximately 88% of the country's population of around 69 million people. Thailand is home to 73 living languages, 51 of which are indigenous. Agriculture and tourism are the most important industries in Thailand. In December 2004, The catastrophic Indian Ocean tsunami hit Thailand, but the country's economy has largely recovered from the disaster's effect. A revolution in 1932 led to a constitutional monarchy, so the king is the leader of the country. The king has little direct power under the constitution and exercises power through the National Assembly, the Council of Ministers, and the court in accordance with the 2017 constitution. The king of Thailand is Vajiralongkorn, and the prime minister of Thailand is Prayut Chan-o-cha. Chanthurn Fu is a poet of the Radha-Nosking period, and he has become known as the people's poet of, and also as the Shakespeare of Thailand. His works include Nirat Pukao, a collection of poems recounting his journey to the Golden Mountain, Nirat Sufan, and the Fra Afai Manisaga. Thank you for your attention.
In 2005, nearly half of the South Korean population said they had no religion preference, whereas most are Christian or Buddhist. According to the 2005 census, 29.2% of the population at the time was Christian, and 22.8% were Buddhist. Other religions practiced in the country include Islam and various new religion movements such as Judaism, Daoism, Shintoism, and Han Buddhism. Today, freedom of worship is guaranteed by the Constitution and there is no state religion. Government. The structure of the South Korean government is determined by the Constitution of the Republic of Korea. This document has undergone several modifications since 1948, the day on which it was promulgated shortly after independence. However, the Constitution has retained many of its general features, and with the exception of the short-lived Second Republic of South Korea, the country has always had a presidential system with an executive branch leader independent of the president. South Korea is a developed country, and between the 1960s and 1990, it had one of the fastest growing economies in the world. The rapid transformation into a rich, industrialized economy in this short time was called the miracle of the Han River. This surge in growth was achieved through export-oriented manufacturing and a highly skilled workforce. Literature. Like music, South Korean literature is divided into classic and modern literature. The first covers all works written before and during the reign of the Joseon dynasty. Many of these works were written with the Chinese alphabet, so several authors consider that the true emergence of Korean literature occurs with the invention of the Hangul alphabet. South Korea, located in East Asia, has an area of 100,370 kilometers. South Korea, with a population of 51,781,000 people, is in position 28 in the population table, made up of 196 countries, and has an A population density with 516 inhabitants per kilometers. The official language of the country and the most widely spoken by South Koreans is the Korean language, a language whose classification is still debated, as some authors claim that it belongs to the Atlantic family and others believe that it is an isolated language.
Okay, the country that touched me is North Korea. Now I will talk a little about North Korea. The first one, language. The Korean language is the official language of North Korea and South Korea. In addition to confirming that in the above Koreas, Korean is also spoken in the Xinjiang, Korea's autonomous prefecture located in either China's Jilai province, a prefecture that borders North Korea as well in the Korean language colonies. Signishi from Seoryun and Minnan in Japan. Worldwide, there are about 80 million speakers. It is commonly classified and as a language is so late. The second, literature. The Korea that appeared in the 20th century, the first form of literature to appear on the Korea Peninsula was as uncommon and almost inevitable in virtually every country in the world alright, with stories passing down from generation of their age adopting different formats such as language variant and storytelling. Attention to the fact that purely literary was accompanied by other components such as the music. The third one, people. About 40% of the North Korea population live below the poverty line, allusion to the natural disasters that hit the country. Poverty is very serious, and is getting worse. Many children are homeless and have to deal with very adverse living conditions. Number four, religion. The majority of the population in North Korea, 35.68%, is a now believer. The most with the breed religion in animism, with 16% of people professing it. The latest survey indicate that percentage of now believers as remaining the same. It has gone from 64.32%. The number five is economy. North Korea's economy is centrally creation and revolves around the young nation, political ideology, and socialism, attaching great importance to the country's self-sufficiency. However, foreign investment is also so, and there are several special economic zones in the country. And number six, government. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea defines itself as socialist people states. The government by a one-party or single-party simple system and a very indifferent nationalization, or state dominance of the means of production.
Good morning, teacher. My name is Carlos Sanchez, and I will talk to you about Japan. I will talk to you about the people of Japan. The Japanese people are constituted to 98.1% of the country's population. Worldwide, approximately 129 million are Japanese descendants. Of these, approximately 125 million are living in Japan. The religion, two religions that are most important in Japan, that is Shinto and Buddhism. The economy, Japan was the second largest country before United States, but in 1968 to 2010 was taken by China. Nowadays, the chart is first United States, second China, and third Japan. The government is in the power of the government are divided in three powers: executive power, legislative power, and judicial power. The language most widely spoken in Japan is the Japanese. The literature was heavily influenced by cultural contact with China and Chinese. Geography. Japan is a island country comprising a stratovolcanic archipelago over 3,000 kilometers or 1,900 miles along East Asia Pacific coast. Thank you, teacher. That's all of my part. God bless you.
Hello, teacher and Clement. Today I am talking about two of the Bhutan religion. According to last severally, a very high percent of the population, 99.97, is believed in Bhutan. The majority religion is Buddhism, 84.2 of this population um, profits it. Economy. Bhutan a Buddhist economy. Himalayas is famous for its monasteries, forts, orgions, and spectacular landscapes that range from subtropical pines and to steep mountains and valleys in the highland of the Himalayas. Biggest source of Hamarli at 7,326 are popular destination for trekking. Um, Government. Bhutan, a Buddhist kingdom of the eastern edge of the Himalayas, is famous for its monasteries, forests, orchards, and spectacular landscapes that range from subtropical plains to steep mountains and valleys. Literature. The literature of Bhutan is written in several languages, including the Nepali language and Sunukwa and Bhutan. It goes back to the 1090 no, 900 1915 and previous Bhutan literature used the fact on religious teaching and no focuses more on folklore. People. One of the first surprising facts while looking for the information about Bhutan is the popularity of the less than a million people, 763,000 inhabitants in total in 2019. It was 203,300 are considered in the country capital Thimphu. In geography, Bhutan is located in South Asia. South Asia at the foot of the extreme of the Himalaya is borders to the north by People Republic of China, Automatic Republic of Tibet, around about 477, and the to the west by 16 to the south by west. Bengal and Assam to the east by Arunachal Pradesh and for about 659 border with status in India. It is separated by narrow territories from Nepal to the west, Bangladesh to the south, and Burma to the loudest. And this is so.
Good morning, my name is Lizzie and I will talk to you about China. Okay, China is one of the world's four ancient civilizations. China was found in 3000 years before. The capital of China is Beijing. The official language is the Mandarin. In China, we know because of the Great Wall of China. We know also because they fabricate paper. In the food, they include rice, cockroach, rats, and all that insects. The literature in China is now the classical Chinese poetry. The people in China is about 1.3 billion. They are also the 18% of the people in the world. The religions that they have are Buddhism, Taoism, Christianism, Islamic, and Catholicism. The government that the Chinese have is the Chinese Communist Party. And also one more fact of China is that is the largest country in the world by land area. China is of the one of the best country in the world. That's all.